Hello, Catherine.
Hi, Jude.
It is wonderful to see you again.
It's great seeing you.
How was your weekend?
It was great. How was yours?
Mine was fantastic.
Good.
So this is a follow-up to our previous meeting where we discussed some of your communication needs, and you told me your desire for employees to be able to answer their phones on the go.
Right.
And so in that meeting, you shared two real needs with me. The first one was to make it easier for your people to answer calls on the go.
Right.
As you described, most calls right now are being transferred to a voicemail, and then eventually your employees will get to that voicemail, but in some cases, people will actually call back and ask why their call hasn't been answered yet.
Right.
And the second need that you described to me was that you wanted to make it easier for people to answer their office phone, and you said most of the calls can also be routed through a cell phone or a PC. In short, the infrastructure's there, but what is lacking is the convenience. Would you say that's correct?
That's exactly, you're dead on. That's exactly what's going on.
That's good. Well, I'm glad to see that we're still in agreement on those. So what I'd like to do today is go through some of the features of our products based on those needs, and we can see how they would fit into your organization.
Sounds great.
Wonderful. So if you look at the screen over here, this is an example of some of the products that I have for you today. And they work using a Bluetooth connection. And so you can hook these up to your PC, your mobile phone, or your desk phone, depending on the needs of that individual employee.
Okay.
Now, the different models of these can range, their Bluetooth connectivity can work anywhere from 50 feet away to 500 feet away.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The 50 feet away obviously being the cheapest, and the 500 feet away being more on the expensive side. And again, that's all dependent on each specific employee's need. Whether they're traveling a lot relative to their PC, or if they like to work more in their office space. So what I have for you here is a brochure that kind of details some of those range options for you, as well as the different types of headsets that we have to offer there.
Okay.
And so another thing that you had expressed to me in the last meeting is that you'd like the convenience that a typical desk phone lacks. And the nice thing about these is that when you get an incoming call, you can answer it with something as simple as a touch of the ear. You can just touch the earpiece and start talking. It's that simple.
Okay.
And the other thing is, if you're maybe busy with something that requires both of your hands and you can't touch that earpiece at the time, then you can just say answer or decline using our built-in voice activation. Is that something that would be interesting to you?
Absolutely. That sounds great.
Well, that's wonderful. And again, that's all detailed inside of our brochure there.
Yeah.
So also something that I'd like to do is go over what we can offer you versus other headsets that you might find on Amazon or Best Buy. Now, don't get me wrong, those work well as well, but what they might be lacking is in pricing. We can offer you, inside of the brochure, if you see, is a bulk discount on your organization.
Yes.
Because I know, as you mentioned in our last meeting, the Archdiocese is quite large. In your main office, you have as many as 8-9 floors filled with all your employees, and then you also have the 2 satellite locations. So I'd imagine you'd be needing a lot of these.
Right.
And
and that's why
we'd
I
like
pulled
to
you
offer
in.
you a discount
and
there.
I like this. I like the look of this because that's why I pulled you in. We could do the one off Amazon if we wanted to, but it would get very pricey. And then the other thing I noticed is your customer service, that you have your number right here. That's
Right.
huge because no matter how great the product is, you're always going to have the people who just aren't very technologically inclined that are going to have trouble or, just with questions. And
Right.
it's so good to know that you have the customer service there. That's really important to us.
That's good, yes. We've tried to make these as foolproof as possible. Here, I can just detail exactly how they work.
Okay.
If you've got the typical desk phone, we have a little Bluetooth dongle that goes right on the back, and how a desk phone plugs into the wall.
Right.
This would just plug into that cable, and then it would plug into the back of your desk phone.
Okay.
And that would connect you to all of our headsets.
Okay.
But if you don't want to just connect to the desk phone, you can also connect it to your mobile phone or your PC, depending on where you are. And so I know you mentioned that a lot of your employees might be at home because of the pandemic and everything like that.
Yes.
So a nice thing about these is that I can hook it up to my PC one day if I'm at home, but if I need to go into the office, I could hook it up to my office phone. And we tried to make it versatile for those needs like that.
Okay, that's great because sometimes they're at work, sometimes they're at home, or they're out in the field at parishes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice that they can have the same headset work, wherever they are. So I really like that feature too.
That's good. Wonderful. So I'm glad we're on the same page here. What I'd like to do for our next meeting is I'd like to bring in some of our headsets, let you get acquainted with them. I could go over a demonstration on how to answer calls and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd actually like to leave you and some other key employees with a sample of them. So take them, use them for a week, get acquainted with how easy they are to set up and everything like that, see what you like, what you don't like, and then come back to me after that week's over and we can go over your purchase needs there. Does that sound
great.
good?
Oh, I'd love that because I think once people use these, they will be sold because of the convenience factor and just makes their job so much easier. I would like to bring in at this point, our department heads.
Right.
That's 5 people and then maybe 1 key employee from each department. So that would be 10 people total.
Well, that sounds good to me.
Okay.
And that product demonstration shouldn't take more than 6 or 7 minutes, and then I can take questions from there.
Okay.
And see what each department might need for their different day-to-days, right?
Sounds great.
And so I'm available to meet with you Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
Any day, any time for those weeks. What time would work best for you?
Let me look here. What about Thursday at 1? Could you do that?
Yeah, Thursday at 1 would work just great for me.
Okay, let's do that. I'll reserve our conference room downstairs.
Wonderful.
And we'll have everything set up and ready to go.
And we'll bring in some of those key players and we'll get that demonstration going.
I think I'm sold, Jude. I think once they see this, they're going to be so excited. And so this is good.
That's wonderful.
I'm really happy.
And I'll send you a confirmation email going over what we talked about today, our meeting time for next week, and you can in turn forward it to all those key employees and anyone else you'd want to bring in for next week.
Sounds perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being with me,
Jude.
Catherine.
Thank you. I'm
Thank
really
you.
looking forward to it.